What's going on, guys? We got another video for you today. We're going to be looking at the origin of Doctor Strange today. You know, Doctor Strange, he's a good player on Marvel Rivals, even though I don't use him. You guys find out who I use shortly, but I feel like Doctor Strange is a good asset to Marvel Rivals. So with that being said, let's get into it. I know last video I didn't really describe what we saw, so I'm gonna just try to go over it before I go through with this video. So what we saw last video was basically Rocket, you know, living his life ever since he was young, being basically like a test bunny the whole time he was fucking born, and they just killed his family right in front of him. The main people that were getting tested with him, surviving him, died right in front of him, man. Shit changed him, bro. Made him a different person. And you can see it in that video. But we're going to do the history of Doctor Strange and see what's cracking here. So, without further ado,
Dr. Stephen Strange was a talented but arrogant surgeon who charged ludicrous prices for treatment. One night, however, he was in a horrible car crash that permanently damaged his hands, preventing him from ever operating again. When he exhausted all of his resources and leads of where he could fix his hands, Strange sought out a legendary healer in Tibet called the Ancient One. When the old man refused to fix his hands, Stephen lashed out at the old man. In retaliation, the Ancient One used a levitation spell on the arrogant doctor. Unfortunately, though, Dr. Strange thought this was a simple trick and tried to leave, but was prevented thanks to a snowstorm.
So Doctor Strange was taxing niggas. He was being a prick, nigga. Okay, I see it. I feel it. Karma got to his ass, damaged his hands, and he's trying to take the easy way out and try to find a wizard in the snowstorm, snow mountain.
While staying in the temple, Strange caught the Ancient One's
screwed
apprentice
over with him
Mordo
now,
casting a spell to kill his master. However, Mordo put a mystical gag on Strange, preventing him from warning the Ancient One. Don't worry, the old dude knew that Mordo was evil the whole time, put a stop to his assassination, and offered Strange the opportunity to learn the ways of magic as his new disciple. During his training, Stephen excelled in his studies, discipline, martial arts, and technique, but he still had many troubles conjuring and mastering spells. A lot of this is due to the fact that Strange gets his abilities by invoking the power of the Vishanti, a trio of godlike entities who took a little while to warm up to the good doctor. It was also during this time that Stephen befriended a man named Wong, a servant of the Ancient One. After years, the doctor's training was finally complete, and he returned to New York with Wong to work as a magical consultant at his Sanctum Sanctorum. Doctor Strange has had his fair share of enemies over the years, but few are as consistent as the demon Dormammu. Their first run-in was when Dormammu went after the Ancient One, but thankfully Strange was able to save the day. For his heroism, the Ancient One bestowed his pupil with two iconic magical artifacts: the Cape of Levitation and the powerful Eye of Agamotto. Fun fact, although the Eye of Agamotto is Doctor Strange's most iconic relic, there are actually multiple of them out there. If getting powerful doodads for defeating Dormammu wasn't enough, though, Doctor Strange even ended up taking on the demon's niece, Clea, as his protege. The two quickly fell in love, and they even got married, until Clea left to rule the Dark Dimension. It's basically just hell under a different name. And yes, I did pronounce her name as Clea at one time, and Clea as another. That way, I get everybody happy with pronunciation. Now, after a massive war between two alien races called the Kree and the Skrulls, an elite group of some of Earth's most powerful and prominent beings was formed, the Illuminati. This included Iron Man, Professor X, Black Bolt, Namor the Submariner, Mr. Fantastic, and of course, Doctor Strange. The Illuminati was designed to handle threats before they happened, and trust me, we'll be talking about them a lot more later on in this video. Outside of the Illuminati, though, Doctor Strange was also a founding member of the Defenders. These guys are a crazy ragtag team that keeps assembling over and over for various circumstances, and despite having some of the strongest characters in the entire Marvel Universe behind it, the Defenders are incredibly unorganized, causing them to frequently break up and reform. The Defenders' chaotic nature is partly why Strange typically works alone. In fact, shortly after forming the team, Stephen had to kill his former master in order to defeat Shuma-Gorath. He's basically Marvel's Cthulhu. Upon his death, however, the Ancient One became one with the universe and made Strange the new Sorcerer Supreme, the most powerful magic user in the realm. Unfortunately though, Doctor Strange's magic has been known to fail from time to time, and in the late 80s, he was unable to properly harness light magic. It was for this reason that the Doc teamed up with his former adversary Kalu and dabbled in dark magic for the first time. This is super weird considering that Doctor Strange's first appearance literally had him labeled as a master of black magic. Oh yeah, it was also during this time that Doctor Strange lost an eye when fighting a demon. Don't worry, Strange got it back from Agamotto of the Vishanti, who made an appearance as the smoking caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. Because comics. For a while, Doctor Strange fell into the background as a secondary character, but he made some significant appearances with the rest of the Illuminati, such as when they launched the Hulk into space, since he was too powerful and unpredictable. The group even decided to take more power into their own hands by hunting down the powerful Infinity Gems and giving one to each member for safekeeping. Arguably, one of the most important meetings of the Illuminati, though, was to discuss the upcoming Superhuman Registration Act. Strange was adamantly opposed, but didn't actually fight in the civil war that erupted from it. This was probably for the same reason why the Hulk was really launched into space. The writers thought that he would be too overpowered for the fight. Despite remaining neutral during the war, Doctor Strange hid the unregistered New Avengers in his Sanctum Sanctorum. Soon after, though, the Hulk came back from space seeking revenge on the Illuminati. Part of this involved breaking Strange's hands. Again. Without his hands, the Doctor wasn't able to cast many of his spells, so he resorted to channeling a powerful demon named Zom to take on the Hulk. But wait, there's more. Strange had to channel Zom a second time in order to help save the New Avengers after they were attacked by a horde of villains. This made Stephen lose his mastery of magic and his title as Sorcerer Supreme. With his powers severely neutered, Stephen went on a soul-searching journey, which involved him attending a demonic baseball game and a demonic child beauty pageant. Again, because comics. Thankfully, Strange was able to build up a bit more of his power, join the New Avengers, and was even able to become the Sorcerer Supreme all over again. It wasn't all fun and games, though. The Illuminati had to reassemble when they discovered the incursions, universes smacking into each other and destroying the multiverse. It was ultimately decided that they would need to destroy other universes to save their own. Doctor Strange took part in some events around this time, like Infinity and Original Sin, but the incursions were definitely the most significant for him, since he was having to use literally every single resource that he had to stop the destruction of his home universe. Doom certainly did not. During the final incursion, Doctor Doom took bits and pieces from the multiverse. When some survivors of the incursion show up, though, Strange helps them out. Though Doom didn't like that and killed Strange. In the end, none of this matters, because at the end of the event, the Marvel Multiverse was all fixed up and everyone's life was as it was before the incursions. In this new, sort of rebooted universe, Doctor Strange fought an interdimensional army that worshipped science. These guys were so tough that in order to retaliate, Strange had to use like 99.9% of the universe's magic to try to defeat them, but failed. Yeah, these dudes literally broke magic. Stephen scoured the world looking for the last traces and artifacts of magic, and was able to defeat the army with the help of some other magic users. But at the end of it all, magic was still broken. These days, Doctor Strange has to rely on an assortment of magical and enchanted items to do battle, which in my personal opinion has actually been really fun to read. With all of that super dense information out of the way, you've got a pretty solid abridged history of one of Marvel's longest running characters. If you'd like to read more about Doctor Strange for yourself, then I would recommend checking out Doctor Strange The Oath from 2006.
Hey, Comic Josh, you hit that shit though. No cap, bro. I gotta give you that. Bro. Hey, man, if you think I should put another hero or a villain, let me know who I should do next. Appreciate y'all watching. Peace.